say, bro, I'm tired of being broke, man. Man, it's for the lames, man. Y'all ready to get this money, man? I don't even trip. I already got a spot for us, man. Y'all know the liquor store, right? On Fridays, everybody's there cashing their check. I know they got to have about 100 bands inside. No. Check 1, 2. Ain't nobody gonna get hurt. You know, the two sisters own it. They ain't got no guns or nothing in there, man. We can go in there, man. They gonna be scared to death. We go in there, get the money, out. 2 minutes, we gone. Bet. Everybody good. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Come on, man. Let's go. I told y'all it was gonna be easy, man. I told y'all I was. Hold on. Hey, man, they shooting, they firing, man. Hey, man, they shooting, they firing, man. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kids TV and the house like kitchen sinks. Now, before I get into today's story, if you will, I'm chiming in from Lexington, Kentucky. Jump in the comment section and let me know what city and state you're representing. You know, I was reflecting back, as I so often do, and I was thinking about a lot of people that I know. A lot of my homies are either in the penitentiary or unfortunately no longer with us, and you know, some are still around. It's no longer in the penitentiary. And I'm thinking about my partner, man, little Larry, man. Little Larry was he was my dude, man. So let me paint a picture and take you way back, you know, back in the time, so that you all can get an accurate depiction, if you will, of what I'm speaking of. So little Larry and I, we actually met while we were incarcerated. We wasn't in prison, we were incarcerated, but we were at it's called a Class D facility. In Kentucky, they'll send you to a jail because the prison beds are so full, it's overcrowded. They'll literally send you to a jail to do your time. Most Class D facilities are terrible, man. I'm talking about you stay locked down all day long. You might get a job to go out in the community and, you know, mow grass or work at the recycling center or, you know, pick up, you know, roadside, you know, things of that nature, pick up cans, make about $25, $26 a month. But you're not in the jail all day long. So it gives you an opportunity to go out and work into the community. It's supposed to be for low-level inmates. I'd rather go to prison any day. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd rather not be incarcerated, period. But if I had to choose between the two, you know, I would pick prison opposed to a Class D facility. That's only if I had to choose between the two. And so this particular Class D facility, it wasn't a normal Class D facility. This was like a luxury in comparison to the other Class D facility. You could wear your own clothes. Contact visits. They didn't even sit in a room with you at the contact visits. It was called Powell County Detention Center. I believe in Stanton, Kentucky. Powell County Jail, rather. Everybody was cool. Sit up and play poker. You know, if you get caught playing poker in jail, in prison, like that's a serious write-up. You know, now some COs, man, they'll let you slide or whatever. But if the right CO catches you, man, you can't just be sitting around gambling. At this facility, man, you could gamble your own cash money or whatever. Like, everything was so sweet. Probably had about 50 people, I want to say. 45, 50 people. And it was in it was a former senior citizens building. And so everything, porcelain toilets, drywall, drop ceilings, resembled nothing. It didn't look like a jail whatsoever. So when you walk in a room, it's one big room where all the bunks are. It's kind of like an army barracks. You got, 40, 50 bunks, however many people that it holds. And you might have a few people sleeping on the floor. But that's cool because they weren't going to sleep on the floor just long enough, until there was a bed that became available. And now they're sleeping comfortably, if that makes any sense to you. So at any rate, at this particular time, man, I had to hook up, man, on the liquor. I used to call it a gangster party. I've spoke about this in previous videos as far as the gangster parties we would throw. They used to call me Lex. Lex, man, when you throwing another gangster party, man? Man, we're going to have one real soon. Nobody knew how I was getting this liquor in. But I could get it in whenever I wanted to. See, the young lady that was coming to visit me, I would have her stop at the liquor store. she would get, a couple liters or what have you, get some water bottles, put them in the water bottles. You see what I'm saying? And then when she brings them in, it would be maybe 15, 20 bottles. The bottles were pretty much already sold. So it was like, okay, I had a list. Okay, you want 2 bottles, you want a bottle, you want, and I would always save a couple bottles for me and a couple of my partners, man. Little Larry and, a couple other of my partners, and we call it a gangster party, man. We all go back, just sit in our little bed area or whatever, just kick it, man. We drinking, everybody's cool, nobody's belligerent, nobody is going crazy or anything like that. And eventually it got to that point to where it got crazy and the state police were called in and everybody in the whole dorm got breathalyzed and we all ended up in the hole. Yeah, it got deep. But in this particular situation, man, I'm just giving you all kind of a backstory, the backdrop as far as how little Larry and I actually, became acquainted. I had other things going on and I don't necessarily want to say exactly what I was doing because, it wasn't necessarily on the up and up, but I had other things going on. And when I would get other things, I would give it to little Larry. Little Larry would hold it, keep it wherever he kept it at or whatever. And then when somebody wanted something, they want smokes or whatever, they have to see little Larry. They don't have to see me. So the two of us, we formed that. So I was kind of like the big brother to him. Little Larry ended up getting out. He made parole. Didn't expect to make parole, but he ended up making parole. When he made parole, he had a 7-year sentence. In Kentucky, you do 20% of your time before you go for parole unless it's a violent charge. Little Larry does 17 months. After he does the 17 months, they give him 15 more months to do. He does the 15 months. So at that point, he has almost 3 years in on a 7-year sentence, and they allow him to go home on parole. He has all these plans that he's going to do. Now, little Larry was a dark-skinned dude at the time. He was probably 23, 24 years old. He was about 6'1", 6'2", weighing, 175, 180. Cut up little dude, did a whole lot of push-ups, had good genes, had like a little baby afro or whatever. I think he was kind of growing his hair out so he could get some braids or whatnot. But real cool, laid-back, mannerable dude, man. Kind of looked like Tyrese. If you are familiar with Tyrese, if you're not familiar with Tyrese, rather, he's an R&B singer. Kind of had the resemblance of Tyrese. At any rate, Larry and I would often talk, and like I said, he's telling me all the things he's going to do. He's going to go back to school when he gets out. He's going to get this job, working with his, I want to say his uncle or somebody like that. It was a relative of his. And, and he really had a plan. He was no longer going to fool with his baby's mother because he felt as though she had left him for dead. Oftentimes when you go to jail, that's what happens, man. People forget all about you, man, and they may not necessarily forget about you, but you'll find them blowing in the wind. Life goes on. Life stops for nobody. He was over her in his mind. He said, you know what, man, I'm gonna just take care of my son, take care of my child, but besides that, as far as us getting together, nah, it'll never happen. I'm looking at the young man and I'm kind of sad to see him go. I'm happy that he's making parole and gets to go home to his family, but it's like, man, that's my dog, man. We would kick it every single day. I still had, at this point, I probably had another year and a half before I even remotely had a chance of going home. So I was going to be in there for a while. Man, OG, man, I'm going to keep up with you, man. I'm going to holler at you when I get home, man. You know what I'm saying? I had a phone and all that stuff. So, as did most people that was in this facility, I'm going to definitely stay in touch with you, man. As soon as I get something, I'm going to send you something, man. Don't worry about me. I'm good, man. I'm making plenty of money. I'm sending money out the door every single week. You got to imagine I'm selling the water bottles for $20. A couple liters, they didn't cost that much money. A little cheap vodka. You know what I'm saying? So, plus I'm doing other things. I'm hosting the poker games. I'm running I got so many hustles going on. I'm literally sending $500-$600 out the door every week. When I go on visitation, I'm sending $500-$600 out the door every single week. And I'm keeping money, for myself during the week. One of those type of facilities, if you didn't like what they were having in the kitchen or what have you, you would order pizza, Chinese food, whatever. So I kept money, and I was a loan shark. You need to borrow 10, I need 14 back. I wasn't really even taxing people like that. You need 20, I need, 28 back. So I'm sure y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. I had plenty of action going on. But Larry gets out, man, and I heard from him a couple times. He's doing everything that he said he was gonna do. He's enrolled in school. He said that he wasn't messing with his son's mother anymore. Had a little job, was doing everything that he was supposed to do. Didn't hear from him often, but every so often I get a call or a text or something, just letting me know how he was doing. All of a sudden, the contact just stopped. I didn't hear anything from Lil Larry. I wonder what's going on with Lil Larry. I call his phone, taking me straight to voicemail. At the time, this was probably around 2008. I want to say this was about 2008. Man, what's going on with Lil Larry, man? He ain't answering the phone. Some time went past. I just, I understand how things are. Once you get back into the real world, it's easier for you to just kind of leave prison and being incarcerated in your rear view. Although I've never done it. I've done it as far as doing time, but I've always looked back. I've always sent some money back into my friends, my partners, man, put money on the phone so they could call home, special Christmas and Thanksgiving, because it means a lot when a person picks up the phone, especially during those treacherous holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, then probably a birthday, then probably your kid's birthday, your mother's birthday mixed in there somewhere. So it's always great to have somebody hit that accept on the other end of the line. As I mentioned, I just went on, I didn't hear anything from him. One day, one of the COs, they were real cool, real, like, at this facility, man, everybody was kind of like, a lot of the COs and the staff, they were family. Powell County is a small town, so a lot of them were related or knew each other or what have you. So they were very, very just people friendly. I was like, hey, Lex, let me talk to you. One of the COs. I believe it was Miss Tina. Miss Tina loved me, man. Not like that, but she, like, Miss Tina, man, she looked out for me a lot. And so I'm talking to her. She said, you hear about Larry? Little Larry? I'm like, nah, I haven't talked to him or whatever. She was like, he's locked up. I'm like, damn, he locked up already? What did he do? They got him for attempted murder, robbery, a couple other charges, but those were the main charges. Attempted murder, robbery. Are you sure? She was like, yeah, let me show you. She proceeds to, look him up on the computer. Whole picture pops up, mugshot. Sure indeed, attempted murder. Wanton endangerment, robbery first, and like I said, there was some other charges, but those charges right there, man, is 20 to life. Off top, you facing 20 to life. Man, what the heck is going on, bro? I find out exactly where he's at, so I shoot him a letter. Not sure if he's going to be able to receive the letter because certain facilities don't allow you to go receive mail from other institutions. I shoot him a letter. He ends up getting back with me. Can't really say too much in the letters because you don't want to implicate yourself. Basically, he's telling me, though, he was out, he was doing well, ended up losing his gig, losing his job, started smoking. Well, he's on parole. You on parole, you get dropped, you get drug tested. Stopped going to see his PO. Wasn't really bringing in no money because, as I mentioned, he wasn't working anymore. He started to see his life just kind of spiraling downwards out of control. They get the wild idea, him and a couple of his partners, they get the wild idea to rob a liquor store. Now, according to Lil Larry, it wasn't really his idea. It was just kind of like, at first I said no, but things got tight or whatever, tighter. My parents was tripping on me, man, threatening to throw me out of the house or whatever. So I went on and went along with it. One stipulation: nobody gets hurt. Nobody move. Nobody get hurt. Nobody move. Nobody gets hurt, man. It's two sisters that own that liquor store. The significance of robbing, for them rather, because there's nothing significant about robbing anybody. But in their minds, the significance of robbing this liquor store was, for one, it was a Friday morning. Early one Friday morning. They cash checks all day long. 7 days a week they would cash checks, but most people get paid on Friday. Now, mind you, this is 2008. A lot of people, they were still getting paper checks. People still get paper checks now, believe it or not. Go to the liquor store gonna charge you 3%, $3 on every 100. Go to the liquor store and you cash a $500 check, guess what? They getting $15 out of it. And then a lot of times you're gonna end up buying something while you're there. So just imagine they're doing this all day long, all week long, but on Fridays, their biggest days. So little Larry and his crew, they knew this is the day that they're gonna have the most money in the liquor store. Hell, they might have 100,000 in the liquor store on this particular day. I mean, a lot of people will go to this liquor store and cash their checks. And it was really no limit. If you go in there, and especially like if it was a check that they're already accustomed to cashing, doing business with, as far as that company, wouldn't matter if it's a $1,500 check, $2,000 check. It's to their benefit to cash the check. Remember, they get 3%, $3 off every 100, $30 off every 1,000. Kind of seems a little robbery-ish. I make up words, robbery-ish. But nevertheless, you got free will. You don't have to go into the liquor store and cash your check. You choose to do so, and you choose to do so. As I mentioned, this liquor store, man, they making a killing, man. Going to the liquor store, well, the plan was, okay, we'll go in. It's two sisters. They're not gonna resist. We'll get whatever's in the register, but we know the big money is in the back. Why did they know that the big money's in the back? Because they've been in there when people have cashed their checks. I'm sure that, they've cashed their checks in there, before as well. So if it was a certain amount, they didn't have it in the drawer. They would always walk to the back. So they walk to the back. That's where the money's at. Show me the money. Show me the money. Yeah, show me the money. The money's in the back, man. Pause. Double pause. Look, go in here. We're gonna go first thing in the morning before people even start coming in. Open at 6 o'clock. I don't know why the liquor stores open up at 6 o'clock, but evidently there's a reason why. So I guess people are coming in, been waiting on their liquor all night long. First thing in the morning, 6 o'clock, boom, boom, boom. And that's what it is. Nevertheless, we're going to go in here first thing in the morning. We're going to be in and out. There's 3 of them. We're going to be in and out, man. You go in, you make sure you get the money out of the register. You see what I'm saying? And then once you get the money out of the register, you watch her. One of the assailants, one of the individuals that's going inside. So let's just say little Larry has his job to watch the lady at the front. Grab the money out of the register, however much money was in there, a few thousand or whatever, a couple thousand. And he's watching her. Go back to the other ones, grab the other sister, they go back to the back. Get whatever money's in the safe. And they didn't have to bring a bag in with them because they know that, it's a lot of money. So much money to where they needed another bag when they went inside. Like they came in with a duffel bag. But it's money everywhere. Excuse me, ma'am, would you happen to have an extra bag? No, no one has an extra bag. Well, shit fire. They end up getting all the money that they could get or whatever. They run out of the store. They're running out of the store. Everything is going according to plan. Now, keep in mind, robberies, life typically doesn't go according as planned, but especially robberies. They're leaving out of the store. Nobody's injured. Nobody's hurt. The 2 sisters, they're distraught. Everybody has masks on, so nobody knows exactly who they are. In and out. Thief in the night. As they're leaving out of the store, they're running to their vehicles. Well, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark outside. As they're running to their vehicles, I guess they didn't account for what happens once we run out of this store. Yeah, we know they're going to call the police on us. We know, but they didn't expect for these sisters to be some gangsters. They didn't expect these sisters to be some you know what I'm saying, bowdy and rowdy. The sister that was working the front register that little Larry was, watching, she grabs that thing. The other sister grabs that thing. They come out the door firing. They see him running. But it's pretty much like they had on all black. So it's kind of like, in a sense, it's like a shadow, if you will. Mind you, it's dark. It's not that dark, but it's 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's still dark. They got on all black. They come out firing. Foof, foof, foof. They firing at them. Oh, shit, oh, shit. Fortunate for them, nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets hit, rather. One of the individuals that's running, he turns around and starts firing back as he's running. Boom, boom, he's firing. So it's an all-out, Wild Wild West. They slinging, gun slinging. They get to the car, boom, they gone. They laughing, scared at the same time, happy that they got away. All this money that they got. They get to whatever spot that they going to. They feel as though they got away clean. It's only one issue. It's only one issue. They end up hitting the lady in the leg. She ends up getting hit in the leg. She gets hit in the leg, police is called or what have you. They didn't even call 911 initially. As I mentioned, once the individuals ran out of the door, they was like, nah, man. Nah, not about our money. Grab them things and start firing at them. Right afterwards, they called 911. Police came, ambulance came, everybody came or whatever. Started doing, it was a crime scene. Started doing survey. They take her to the hospital. She's in the hospital, but she bled a lot. She had lost so much blood, they wasn't even sure that she was going to make it. Shot to the leg. 3 individuals, Larry and his crew, they hear about this. Little Larry's pissed, man. Man, I told you, man. I told you nobody gets hurt. Bitch ass nigga, they was firing at us, man. What was I supposed to do? Man, we was already out the way. You didn't have to turn around and start firing. You could have hit anybody. Now, we really, really got to stay low. This white woman that got shot, they know it's 3 black dudes that done came into the store. Yeah, we had on masks, but they got cameras. You clearly tell that we 3 black dudes. He know where I stay. He know where my mama stay. Name one dude in the hood that plays like that. Little Larry Star, he's really trying to stay low and just not be around these individuals. He's trying to distance himself. These fools done got me caught up, man. I know how to handle myself under interrogation, under the pressure. But do they? That was something little Larry should have thought about prior to doing what he did. Do they know how to handle themselves? So basically, I got to go with, basically, I have to rely on them to not say anything to anyone else about this whole scenario. Cash reward. It's all over the news. They're in a small town. People talk. Sure indeed, one of the individuals that was involved, he said something to someone else. That person said something to someone else. Next thing you know, they're all 3 in custody. People want that cash reward. That's why they offer it. $1,500 cash reward, $1,000. Man, somebody will turn you in for $500, man. They feel as though, shoot, they're going to get caught anyway. Let me go on and get this bread. They all 3 in the interrogation room, separate interrogation rooms. Well, Larry, man, I don't know what y'all talking about, man. I don't have no clue what y'all talking about. Oh, you don't know what we talking about, huh? So basically your name just came up, just fell out of the sky, huh? You have no clue what we're talking about. A lady got shot. Could have been unalive. Tell me something. I know you know. Tell me what you're talking about. You think you tough, huh? You think you tough? Hey, man, I'm telling you, bro, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Matter of fact, give me a lawyer, man. All of those screaming and hollering, man. Give me an attorney. Yeah, okay, tough guy. Okay, tough guy. We're going to see who's laughing in the end. Little Larry, if you know him, he's sitting there with a little smirk on his face. Officers, man, I smack that smile off your face. Yeah, I wish you would. I wish you would. Once you ask for an attorney, they can't question you anymore. Now, if you voluntarily, continue to talk, then that's on you. But once you ask for that attorney, interview's over. Should never even be an interview in the first place. Attorney. Period. Not talking your way out of an interrogation room. Another individual. He's not smart enough to ask for an attorney, but he's basically he's denying it, but he's just getting caught up in all type of lies. He don't have no alibi. He don't have no, he's another one. He shouldn't even be talking. The weakest link. The weakest link. Tells it all. Tells the whole skit, the whole stilo. Now, he's not the one that fired. He was involved, but he wasn't the one that turned around and started firing back. Tells the officers everything they need to know. Took them a minute, they had to break him down, bring him some McDonald's, little drink out of the vending machine, some, coffee. And think about it, these officers, they have a sly way of, they go to school for these things. So when they're interrogating you and they got the good officer, bad officer thing going on, they know exactly what they're doing. Dude's name was Ron. Little Ron. Yeah, little Ron. Football star, huh? I remember you a couple years ago. Yeah, you was a hell of a football player, man. Hell of a football player. Y'all almost went to the state that year. I remember. I distinctly remember. Matter of fact, I remember you wore number 9. Yeah, fast, man. Life's really kicked you in the ass, hadn't it, little Ron? I understand that life wasn't supposed to go this way. I understand that, you had a whole lot of football offers and you play basketball just as well, I remember. No, you're not a bad person. No, you come from a good family. Understand that sometimes, man, things get tough. Things get, and you make irrational decisions. I know you're not a bad guy. I know you're not. This is your one opportunity. This is your chance to really explain to us, because we already know what happened. We know that the 3 of you all went in there. We know that you all, plotted this robbery. But the reason we have you in here, LeRon, is we want to know why. You don't really have a criminal record, anything serious, definitely not anything violent. So we're just trying to figure out, what is your side of the story? What is your, take on it? Because you're not a monster. Now, this is how a jury is going to perceive you all to be. This is how the prosecutor, but if you can give us your side of the story, then I go back and tell the prosecutor, listen, man, this guy, does that mean I'm going to go home today? If I can't tell you that you're going to go home, but what I can do is tell you this. If you don't give us your side of the story, we already have enough evidence to book you, charge you, what have you. You're definitely not going home. And that's what I can tell you. We just want your side. Why did this happen? The Ryan bites. Well, basically, it was such and such an idea. The individual that fired, I didn't even want to go, but I went, and I didn't know that anyone was getting, was going to get hurt. That was the plan. Nobody is to get shot. Nobody's to get hurt. Once he said that, it's off to the races, man. Afterwards, stand up, put your hand behind your... My manual rewind that Hassan Campbell stole from me. Shout out to Hassan Campbell. Stand up, put your hands behind your back. But, sir, you stand up and put your hands behind your back. But, sir, you said that if I told you everything, that you were going to help me. 57 fake out. So now little Ron doesn't have a leg to stand on as far as his attorney, because you've already told the people everything that they wanted to know. Sure, his attorney can come in and try to have the statement thrown out, suppressed. But guess what? You voluntarily gave a statement. Yeah, they tricked you, but at the same time, they didn't make you give a statement. See, police can lie to you. If you lie to them, it can be a obstruction of justice charge, especially in the feds. They can lie to you all day long. That's why it's best to just not say anything other than attorney. Fifth, plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. Plead the fifth. What Dave Chappelle say? Fifth. It's not my joke. It's Dave Chappelle. I plead the fifth. That's what you tell them, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Shout out to the 5. If you know, you know. And so the 3 individuals, they all locked up. They going to court together. No, they're not in the same cells or what have you, but, you know, they arguing and whatnot, going back and forth to court because you got 2 individuals. They kept their mouth shut, as I've already previously mentioned. And then you got this individual, Lil Ron. He's telling everything. So guess what? Lil Ron's a rat. Lil Ron has to go to protective custody. Can't be in a jail and everybody knows you're a rat. You're the star witness. He's telling people that he didn't rat. See, he didn't even understand how the court system works. He didn't even understand that he was being recorded in the interrogation room. Oftentimes, officers, they'll use a trick. They'll have a tape recorder, right? And they'll never hit record. So when you in there, you thinking to yourself, well, he's not recording me, so nobody can really prove that I said these things because he never hit record. Stupid is and stupid does. The whole room is bugged, weirdos. So look, Ron is doing what most people do, man. I ain't said nothing, man. They telling on me. I ain't said nothing. All the while, once you get your motion for discovery, which is a part of your criminal investigation or your criminal case, basically their motion for discovery means they're presenting the evidence that they have, that they intend to use against you, and they never give you all of it. They never give you all the evidence. They're supposed to, but they never give it all to you. They present the motion for discovery, so they have these tapes. Back then it was tapes. Have these tapes of the statements that Lil Ron made. You can't deny it now. Everybody gets a copy of these tapes. Everybody gets to listen to them, and like they give you the tapes and they give you like a tape recorder. You listen to them, then you got to turn it back in. So everybody's heard him, which they already knew anyway. So man, it's really, really, you can't deny it. You're right, man. It is what it is, was what it was. What do? They're offering football numbers, man. When I say football numbers, they offering 35, 40 years, 50 years at 85%. Violent charge, violent crime. And you got the habitual offender status. Yeah, it's a sentence enhancement. So if Robert, it's an example. Attempted murder carries, I want to say 10 to 20 at 85%, meaning that you do 85% of your time. If you get 20, you're going to do 17 and a half. Well, you're going to do 17 rather. If you get 10, you're going to do 8 and a half. Attempted murder charge alone carries 10 to 20. The robbery charge carries 10 to 20. And then when you hit them with the sentence enhancement, it enhances your crime from a Class B felonies in Kentucky carry 10 to 20. And enhances it to a Class A, which is 20 to life. Well, hold on, Kens. How can they do that? Because it's called a sentence enhancement. It enhances your sentence to the next level. Class A being the highest level that you can be charged with in Kentucky is 20 to life. 40 years is the offer. 40 years? 40 years? Now in Kentucky, the most time you can do before you see the parole board, unless you got 25 to life, the most time you can do is 20 years, and then you have to see the parole board. I don't care if you got a 100-year sentence. If it's at 85%, once you do 20 years, you have to go before the parole board. They're not knowing this at the time. So you got 40 years and 85%. They trying to do the math on that. Like, hold on, 8, 6, 30, 32. They're really doing the math. It's 34 years. 34 years? I'm only 20, 24 at the time, 23, 24, 25. I don't even think they were 25 at the time. And I got to do 40 years? Of course, Lil Ron wasn't, his offer was way less than that. Nah, man, I can't take a 40-year offer. 2 of them, they remain solid. They sit in the county jail for about 2 years fighting this case. We're going to trial with this, man. After all, they never found no weapons. They never found no money. The people can't identify us. You got one individual pointing the finger at us. Yeah, he's pointing the finger, but look at the time cut that he's getting on this sentence. Anybody can say anything. Per lips can and will say anything. We're going to chance it. We're going to roll the dice. I mean, after all, they offering us 40. We get caught up at, the jury. What's the jury going to give us? Might give us life. But what if they don't? What if a jury only gives us 30 or 40? What if they find us not guilty? It's all type of, different scenarios that are, I guess, being presented in their own minds to each other. Like I said, they weren't in the same cell, but they would see each other in court. But little Larry wouldn't have to go to court. Not little Larry. Little Ron wouldn't have to go to court at this point. It's just little Larry and the other individual. He's a witness. He's working with them peoples. As a matter of fact, he got out on bond. He wasn't even incarcerated. After so long, after so many months, I guess being that he was cooperating, Lil Ron ended up getting out on bond. Stressful situation. Been there. Definitely been there. You want to go to trial, but man, I don't know, man. After I got a witness, that was there. This individual is a witness against us. It was there. He's going to get on the stands and point the finger at us and say, hey, these 2 guys were with me. This guy planned it. This guy shot. This guy. They're going to say that against us. But I can't take no 40-year offer, man. I can't do it. Closer and closer to trial time. You have a few court dates in between. Judge wants to know, y'all going to be able to reach some sort of a plea deal. Is this going to trial? It's called a status hearing. What are we doing here? After so long, judge wants this off the books, so to speak. You gonna shoot or you gonna dribble? What we gonna do? Well, Your Honor, we're gonna proceed with trial, and everybody got court-appointed attorneys. What do? You don't even have an actual attorney that's gonna go in there and really, really fight for you. 40 years? Nah, man. Keep in mind, they're still thinking that they got to do 34 years on the 40 years, not 20. 20 is a stretch. Closer and closer to going to trial. Prosecution, they come with another deal. I'll offer you 30, man. They think about 30, but if they offering us 30, it's been 40 the whole time. They offering us 30, they must not have nothing. Yet you still got this witness that's going to get on the stands and testify against you. I'm thinking that the Commonwealth didn't really believe in this witness too much. I mean, after all, he was he was a little shaky. They was going to tear him up on the stands. I'm assuming that they would. I mean, you're dealing with a legal aid attorney. Not to say, I've seen some good legal aid attorneys, though, that ended up going out and get, starting their own firm up and things like that later on down the line. But your majority of them, they just want you to cop out, take a plea deal. Dude in Lexington, man, it didn't occur in Lexington, but there's a dude in Lexington, and his name is literally Win One Soon. He's like I don't know if he's from China or Japan, but it's one of the two, and that's what they would call him, Win One Soon, because he never won a case, man. This dude would never win a case. So they called him Win One Soon. Respectfully. 30 years is the offer. Not going down, take it or leave it. At this point, it's about a week before trial. 5-6 days. 30 years. Still doing the math. 25 and a half years. 25 and a half years. Now, Nah, I can't stand the rain. I can't stand the rain. It's my window. I can't stand the rain. I can't stand the rain, man. 25 and a half. I know I done been in here 2.5 years at this point, but it's still 23 years. Nah, box it up. Take that bitch to trial. Take that bitch to trial. Man, take these people to trial, man. Actually, they were saying take these white folks to trial. Y'all gonna get enough taking these white folks to trial, because they gonna show you. They're gonna show you. Day of the trial, everybody comes in. They got their suits on. They, freshly dressed. Prosecution comes with one last deal. I'll offer you 20 years. 20 years. Take it or leave it. We already here. We already here. You don't take this deal, we're going to proceed. Consult with their attorneys. As I mentioned, I already had 2 years in. 20 years, 85%. We got to do 17 on 20 years. It's 14 and a half more years we'd have to do. They proceed to take the 20 years. Took 20 years on one count, and then the other count, they didn't know how the judge was going to run that. See, the judge can run it consecutive or concurrent. So, for instance, they take 20 years on count one, which would be the robbery charge. Count two, 5 years for wanton endangerment. The judge could run it all in together for a total of 20 years. That would be concurrent. Or the judge could run it wild, consecutive. Okay, you got 20 years plus 5 for a total of 25 years. That's the thing about Kentucky. Some of the courts in Kentucky, you don't even know what you plead out to. Not in Fayette County, in Lexington anyway. You plead after 3 different counts. You don't know how the judge is going to run those counts. It's up to the judge. It's crazy, but that's just how it works. Judge ends up running it wild for a total of 25 years. The 20 years they had to do 85% of. It's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to understand. The other remaining 5 years, they just had to do a regular 20% before they were eligible for parole. So you do the 17 years, which is 85% of 20 years. Now that sentence is seemingly, it's essentially dead. But you still got 5 years left, but it's a regular 5 years to where you don't have to do 85% on to where you're eligible for good time. So you can kill out a 5-year sentence with classes and programs that they offer. You can kill out a 5-year sentence in no more than half of 2.5 years, basically. 2.5 years, half of the 5 years. 17 years, 20-year sentence is dead for the robbery. Take programs, keep my conduct, get good behavior. I do another 2.5 years. Now my whole sentence is finished. It's done. It's over with. That's what they ended up doing. Essentially, 19.5 years is what it cost them. 19.5 years. This whole situation took place in, I want to say 2009, as far as when the actual robbery took place. 2009. What is this, 2025? 16 years they've been incarcerated. 3.5 more years, they get to see the streets again. Relatively young. 43, 42, 44, somewhere right around in there. Get a second chance at life, man. Get another opportunity. Meanwhile, Lil Ron ended up getting like a 5-year sentence. Quite sure that wherever he went, it wasn't smooth sailing. See, when you're a rat, man, it's one thing to be a rat on the streets. It's never good to be a rat, period. But if you're a rat on the streets, you can kind of maneuver and watch where you go and watch, your surroundings. You can move away. You don't have to be in that same environment. But when you're in prison, man, ain't no escaping that. Everybody knows you're a rat, man. I'm not quite sure exactly what happened to LeRon in prison, but I'm quite sure that he did all his time on PC walk. And even being in PC, from what I hear, that doesn't mean that they can't get you. Fleece Johnson talks about it all the time. Don't mean anything just because you're on PC. Because the individual that's looking for you, guess what? They can go check in. Hey, man, I don't feel safe on the yard right now, man. I need to check in. I need to go PC, man. Go to PC to get whoever, you trying to get, your op. So PC doesn't always save you. Do what you got to do in PC, man. I'm cool now, man. I can go back to the yard. I don't feel scared. I don't feel naked and afraid anymore. It's crazy, man. All of that time, 19 and a half years. Yeah, they got some bands. They got some thousands. I think they, got away with, 30, 40,000. Wasn't 100,000 that was in there that they thought. But splitting, let's just say 40. Splitting 40,000 with 3 people. You got to go do 19 years. 19 and a half years. Then another one's going to be forever labeled a rat. You had a young lady that was just doing her job, man, just came in, just trying to feed her family and make a living. And she ends up getting shot. What if she got shot in the chest or the head or the face or somewhere that's... And that shot that she got, as I mentioned, it was a serious shot. She bled a lot. Could have lost her life, man. Hopefully you all take something from this. Young people primarily is who I speak to, but I speak to everybody because everybody goes through hard times and tough times in life, man. Trials, tribulations, I get it. But turning to the streets, turning to crime is never the answer. Robberies never go according to plan. Because let me tell you exactly why. You do one and you get away with it. Guess what? That was easy. So then you do it again. Then you do it again. Then next thing you know, you 5-6 robberies in. Police is already investigating. They're trying to string these robberies together. 9 times out of 10, they already know that they're all related. They just don't know exactly who it is, but they're going to find out. Oh, yeah, they're going to find out. And then when they find out, y'all done been on all type of robbery sprees, man. Somebody always gets hurt at some point. Because there's always going to be gunfire involved, man. If you don't have if you go in, you got a fake gun or you don't use it, if you do have a real one, that's not to say that they won't use it. They never anticipated these ladies being gangsters, man, coming out the door firing on them. They never anticipated that. Get your job, man. I know things get tough. I know if you have a criminal record that trust me, if anybody knows, I know. You're not going to get the best of jobs. And when I first came home, man, I was working at Burger King, man, for $8.50 an hour, man. I couldn't get hired anywhere. I didn't have an ID for one when I first came home. But I was working at Burger King, man. It was a shame didn't even want to work the front register because, when people came through and they seen me and I'm working at Burger King, man. But I had to swallow my pride. And guess what? I got to the point to where I was proud every day to be going to work. I knew it was just temporary. I knew that it was just a stepping stone. But it was keeping me out of the streets. It was keeping me out of the criminal wave or, just the criminal environment, just doing dirt in general. It just kept me out of that. Sure, I always thought about it. This $8.50 ain't enough. But guess what? I went and got me a job at a little cafe washing dishes in the morning. 8 to 3, I wash dishes, clean the kitchen, do whatever I need to do, sweep floors or whatever, clean the bathrooms. 4 to 11, I go to Burger King. I had to do what I had to do. I was determined to do whatever I needed to do to keep my ass out of the motherfucking penitentiary, man. So you get to a certain level, you get to a certain point to where you just get tired. You should anyway. Tired of being stepped on. I'm tired of being stepped on. I'm tired of being stepped on. I'm tired of being stepped on. That's how you feel in the penitentiary, man. Just stepped on. You're not even a person. They treat you like a number. Even they dehumanize. You know what? I like it. They dehumanize you. And I worked. And I worked. And I got to a point to where I no longer had to work at Burger King. I no longer had to work and do the dishes or what have you. And you continue to evolve. You continue, there's Joyce Myers. She always talks about in life, you use stairs, not the elevator. We all want to use the elevator, but in life, you got to use them stairs, man. Not to say that I'm a hell of a success or anything like that at this particular moment, but I will be. Started watching Big Hurt, Fresh Out Prison series. Actually, I had already watched him prior to being incarcerated. Started watching Jay Williams. Started watching these guys, and at some point it clicked. Like, shout out to the homie Jay Williams too, man. Let's live life. So I started realizing I can do the same thing, man. It's not about money. It's not about me. I didn't even know anything about money on YouTube. It's a form of therapy for me. It helps me get certain things out of my mind. But at the same time, it helps me to help other individuals that are going through these things. People hit me up all the time, man. Real Kens TV at Yahoo. Real Kens TV at Yahoo. They hit me up all the time. People even call me, man. I put my number on it. People really call my phone, man. Hit me up. Hey, Kens, man. I'm glad that video, man. I'm glad I watched that, bro. Because I was really on the verge of doing something crazy. Doing something strange for some change. Turning to crime is never it, man. Find your higher power, whoever that may be. Pray. Get you a little job. Start working on your credit. Do research as far as, how to get your credit together. Go to school, get you a little trade, get you a skill. I'm barber school, beauty school. It don't matter. HVAC, plumbing, electricity, whatever you need to do that. Because guess what? In the penitentiary, it's mandatory that you work. And you're going to be doing it anyway. Just for $15, $16 a month, opposed to $15, $16 an hour. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive.